Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Clear the Ice here on the Edge of Philly Sports, the premier Flyers post-game show anywhere in the English-speaking world with your boy, Matty B. It's great to be back with you after a very tumultuous week here in Flyers land as we've seen things go from bad to worse and bad and worser. But tonight there's a hockey game to play, and we're going to kind of try to leave the other stuff for now, and we'll get to the hockey game. And yes, of course, I am going to give you my 2 cents with all this trade deadline stuff and the state of the franchise and all that. But let's get into the game because there was a game to play tonight and a game that which saw the Flyers. What was the thing they said all week long? Is this going to be a drastically looking different team on Friday or after Friday than it was before Friday? Well, it was pretty much the same team because, as we know, JVR was not moved. Nobody was moved with the exception of Zach McEwen and Pat Brown. So this team that took the ice tonight was pretty much the same product that we've been dealing with all season long, just amidst of all the other controversy that's going on right now with the Flyers. But, for the Flyers' credit, and it's got to be given when it's due, and it was due tonight because they came out there and they played themselves a hell of a game against the team in the Detroit Red Wings that's about 3 years ahead of them when it comes to a rebuild. Not to say that the Red Wings are a Stanley Cup powerhouse, but yet they are probably closer than the Flyers are at this point. But they played themselves a hell of a game tonight with really nothing to prove or nothing on the line. It was all about losing for Connor Bednar, if you ask me at this point. But the Red Wings and the Flyers particularly, played themselves a hell of a game. And let's get to that game as we do here every night on the program. So 3-1 was your final. The Flyers take it. And again, I just really say how impressed I am with the Flyers and how good the game was. But things didn't start out good for the Flyers as at the 4:51 mark, David Perron would get the Red Wings on the board first, his 16th of the season. That would be the score heading into the second intermission or to this first intermission into the second period. In the second, though, the Flyers would push out in front for good. Nick DeLorean shorthanded, his fifth of the year, the Flyers' 10th shorthanded goal of the season. Now, how's that happen for a team that cannot do anything on the power play to be so proficient shorthanded? Is just really kind of a microcosm of the Flyers are this year. It was unassisted at 6:53, and then Noah Cates at 12:57, his 10th, the go-ahead slash game winner. If you ask me, and make it 2-1, and then Scott Lawton would add things at the end of the third period at the 18-12 mark, an empty netter, his 15th, and there you have 3-1 Flyers as they played one of their better efforts of the evening or of the season, I should say, in tonight's victory. On the night, the Flyers just really kind of took the play to the Red Wings all night long. They outshot them 37-26. They outhit them 26-22. Power plays, once again, Flyers just really apathetic on their power play, but they did get a shorthanded goal. It makes it a little bit easier, but 0 for 3 tonight on the power play. The Red Wings were 0 for 2. The Flyers did commit 3 penalties, and the Red Wings committed 4. And the Flyers had 9 takeaways and 5 giveaways. Your stars of the night, Nick DeLorean with the number 1 star honors. When was the first, last, and only time he's ever gotten first star nod? Noah Cates, your second star, and Ville Husso, the Detroit Red Wing goalie, who really kind of kept this game close for the Red Wings because the Flyers were on top of the Red Wings all night long with quality shots, quality opportunities, definitely in the first period. And the Flyers, as I said, dictated the play most of the evening, but he gets your third star of the night honors, and there you have 3-1 Flyers. Let's look at some of the on-the-season stuff as we've moved now into the 63rd game of the year. 24, 28 now, and 11 the Flyers are through 63 games. 164 goals scored, 211 goals allowed, 1,856 shots for, 1,953 shots allowed. The power play they've dropped to 28 for 177 on the power play for the season. But again, when you score a shorthanded goal, it makes those power play deficiencies that a little bit more palatable and to understand. But all in all, a good win for the Flyers tonight. And wouldn't you not know that would be the way it would be after? Let's face it, man. The last 9 days here for this team and this organization have just been like as bad as it can be. Everything from the on-ice play last week against the Devils and the Canadiens to the Ranger takeover, the Ranger fan base takeover on Wednesday, to the trade deadline miss and the trade deadline frustrations on Friday. to that town hall meeting yesterday where they booed Chuck Fletcher, and then don't forget the TNT blackout of the Flyer Ranger game on Wednesday. It's just been a nightmare for Flyers fans this week, and really we've only played a couple games, so just a lot of bad optical stuff going on. But when it mattered tonight the most, the Flyers were able to get the win 3-1 over the Red Wings, thus keeping slim hopes alive, I guess. 59 points now. They still remain 12 points out of that final wild card. Yeah, I'm going to keep talking about it. I don't care. I'm going to talk about it. I got to. Not that I want it, but I'm going to keep talking about it. But let's actually take a look at a team that's actually trending towards the playoffs, and that's your Lehigh Valley Phantoms. Because tonight, folks, they are really kind of pushing the gauntlet down there in the Atlantic Division of the American Hockey League. They reside in that division, and currently, right now, they hold the 5th seed. Now, it's a little weird how they do things in the AHL. Each division sends teams to the playoffs. It's not necessarily the conference. They send divisional representatives. They kind of play their way out of their division. Then they kind of go against their conference opponents, and then they go up against the league. So right now in the Atlantic Division, there are 6 playoff spots available. Your Philadelphia Phantoms. God, I'm dating myself there. Your Lehigh Valley Phantoms currently hold the 5th overall seed out of a 6 playoff seeded division. So if the season were to end today, they would definitely be in the playoffs. But there's some teams on their heels. The Hartford Wolfpack, the Bridgeport Islanders, and the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Penguins are all only 1 point behind the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, as they are all trending for that for those playoff spots. But again, as I said, right now they are the 5th seed in the Atlantic Division, and that division is sending 6 teams to the playoffs. So if the season were to end today, your Lehigh Valley Phantoms would definitely be in the playoffs. So if you have some time on your hands and you want to go see some fun hockey, and if you want to go see some playoff atmosphere hockey, take the trip about an hour north up to Allentown and check out the Phantoms. And you can also have a glimpse of the Flyers of the future, because that's what they are. So there you have it tonight. 3-1 Flyers over the Red Wings. Your look around the National Hockey League. Let's do that real quick, shall we? Currently, games that are active. The Devils are slim lead 4-3 over the Arizona Coyotes. They are about almost a quarter of the way through the third period. Starting here very briefly, or just underway out in Colorado, the Kraken and the Avalanche. The Hurricanes defeated the Tampa Bay Lightning 6-0 earlier this evening, and the Vegas Golden Knights defeated the Montreal Canadiens 4-3 earlier out there in Vegas as well. A very light night here in the National Hockey League, and those are your scores on this Sunday evening. And as for me, as I said, the drama that's occurred, we're going to leave that for another day. All right. This is about the game. This is about talking about a team that, has really nothing to win for, but they go out and they play a hell of an effort, have a hell of an effort against the team that has a lot to play for in the Detroit Red Wings. As I said, not necessarily the biggest test for this team. The Red Wings are probably about 3 years ahead of the Flyers in their rebuild process, but they are a better team, and they are a trending team towards the playoffs. But all in all, a good effort for the Flyers tonight under unusual circumstances, as the team remained relatively intact after the trade deadline. And if you want to hear more about that, I suggest you tune into my show here on the Edge of Philly Sports Network every Tuesday night, talking Philly sports with Matty B. Matt, there you go. There is your schedule for the upcoming week. Again tonight, you've got me clearing the ice. You had earlier today the PM and the AM. All the cross, all the time. The cross show is underway as well right now. And then there's your show. There's your shows for the rest of the week here on the Edge of Philly Sports. Don't forget Philly Sports Trips. If you want to travel like the pros, that definitely take a look at Philly Sports Trips and everything they got to offer. A lot of stuff going on. If you take a look at those spring training trips, obviously they are sold out. Can't get on those, but you definitely can get on to the that Phillies Yankees trip, April 3rd, the bus trip up to the Bronx. And that's a trip that you really need to look at, because if you take a look at the way this thing kind of sets up for the Phillies this season, that is the trip right before they come back home to play the Cincinnati Reds in the first home opener. So definitely take a look at that, as well as you can take a look at that. You got the draft happening in Kansas City at the end of April. Go down there and rep the Eagles in some enemy territory, as the draft will be held in Kansas City. The Philadelphia Union, the Philly Sports Trip is taking over Denver, Colorado, May 13th to the 16th for a dual Union Phillies weekend. Go ahead and check out the Phillies play the Rockies and some Union soccer action as well, and that ultimate trip over to London and Leeds on Memorial Day week as they are headed across the pond for the Union at the end of May. So head over to phillysportstrips.com and travel like the pros. St. Patrick's Day at Dolan's. You guys might have seen this, and I'm here to push it a little bit more. Friday, March 17th, go to Dolan's, spend your St. Patrick's Day with them, featuring Brett Porcher from 93.3 WMMR. He will be live on site and broadcasting, I believe, from 3 to 7 p.m. on Friday, March 17th. And then stay for the fun afterwards. Live bands, food vendors, drink specials, everything you can ask for. At what a perfect way to spend your St. Patrick's Day, the 69th annual St. Patrick's Day at Dolan's Bar in Delco. Go ahead and check that out. And if you're looking for some great sports, concert, and theater venue tickets with great prices and no hidden fees, look no further than Sherry's Ticket Town. Family owned and operated since 1946. www.sherrystickets.com. No hidden fees and great prices, and it's save an additional 10% with the promo code EOP10. Go ahead and check them out, and then check my main man out, Dave Cherry, for workman's compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, and criminal law. Visit Dave Cherry at 610-565-0300. Tell him Matty B, clear the ice in the Edge of Philly Sports sent you, and he'll take great care of you, folks. That is going to pretty much wrap me up as a quick, fast, rapid fire Flyers post game. There's a lot to talk about with this team. There's a lot of on the ice stuff going on or off the ice stuff that's going on, obviously. A lot of frustration, a lot of venom that's deservedly being pointed at certain individuals on the Flyers organization. But when you see something like I saw tonight on the ice, it's got to make you feel good, because that's exactly what we're looking for. It was a great effort, regardless of how you feel about Chuck Fletcher or how you feel about Comcast, how you feel about Dave Scott, how you feel about the current product of the team. They laced up their skates tonight and they played hockey. And that's ultimately what we're looking for. Now, I'm not a fool, all right? I understand what this team is, and I understand the frustration. It is warranted. But tonight was about a great hockey game from a team that has nothing to play for other than the pride of being a Philadelphia Flyer. And tonight they showed that. Now, whether or not they're going to show up the rest of the way, and whether or not that's enough to build the Stanley Cup champion on, we'll talk about that at another time. But for tonight, I'm proud to be a Flyer. I'm proud to be a Flyers fan all the time, but tonight, more so because of the effort that this team gave in a game that they could have easily checked it in, but they did not. 3-1 winners over the Detroit Red Wings. Don't forget, catch us the rest of the week. We got games Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. We will be back after every one of those games here on Clear the Ice. Until then, in the immortal words of Gene Hart, good night and good hockey.